All right, welcome back to our weekly AI recap. This week was a big one. We've got some incredible new creative tools to show you, some major, and I mean major, corporate drama, and a huge leap forward for AI in medicine. Seriously, you're not going to want to miss this. Okay, here's what's on deck. We're going to kick things off with new models and the drama that's following them. Then, we'll follow the money with big tech's billion-dollar bets. After that, we'll see how AI is becoming your new doctor. We'll also check out the upgrades coming to your life and your devices. And finally, we'll look at a new global contender that's shaking things up. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, new models, new drama. We're kicking off the week with some creative breakthroughs and some pretty intense corporate shakeups. So let's talk about EP26W02. This is a new text-to-image model that is just making waves. It's getting shockingly good at creating realistic images, especially when it comes to human subjects. And you know how AI usually messes up text and images? Well, this one is actually getting it right. This is a huge step forward, and you can just imagine the impact this is going to have on things like media, advertising, you name it.
But progress in AI is never a smooth ride. Case in point, Meta. AI legend Jan LeCun is on his way out, and he did not go quietly. In a pretty dramatic interview, he basically blasted Meta's new leadership. He said they're completely LLM-pilled, which is his way of saying they're way too obsessed with large language models, an approach he thinks is a dead end for true superintelligence. And then, here's the kicker. He admitted that the benchmarks for their big Llama 4 model were, and I quote, fudged a little bit. Wow, you can bet that sent some shockwaves through the company.
And speaking of controversy, this one's a big one. Elon Musk's xAI and its model, Grok, are in some serious hot water. See, Grok has these really powerful, less restricted image editing tools. And while that was sold as a feature, it's led to this really ugly and viral trend where people are using it to digitally undress images of women, and even minors. It sparked a huge international backlash. And the reaction has been fast and furious. We're talking about governments all over the world, from France to India to the UK, publicly condemning this. France is even saying the outputs are clearly illegal under EU law. This is really becoming a massive test case, right? It raises the huge question, what do we do when these incredibly powerful, almost unfiltered AI tools get put in the hands of millions of people? Okay, so despite all that drama, the money is not slowing down. Not one bit. Let's switch gears and follow the money because the big tech players are making some absolutely massive billion-dollar bets on the future of AI. First up, Amazon. For years, we've thought of Alexa as that voice in a speaker, right? Well, not anymore. They've launched Alexa.com, putting it right into the browser to compete head-to-head with ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest. What's kind of fascinating is that Amazon has also poured a ton of money into Anthropic, which is a competitor. But look at the results. They've integrated real-world tasks with partners like Yelp and Expedia, and user engagement is up 3 to 5 times. So they're definitely onto something. Now let's talk about cars. NVIDIA just did something that could totally change the game for self-driving vehicles. They've open-sourced a new model called Alpamayo. And what's so cool about it is that it uses chain-of-thought reasoning. So it doesn't just act, it explains why it's acting. It breaks down complex driving situations step by step, just like a human would. NVIDIA's own CEO, Jensen Huang, is calling this the ChatGPT moment for physical AI. And by making it open source, they're basically giving the keys to every car company out there to build their own advanced systems. Speaking of money, wow, the AI funding wars are just on another level right now. Get this number. $230 billion. That's the new valuation for Elon Musk's AI startup, xAI, after they just closed a $20 billion funding round. Just let that sink in for a sec. So where does that put them? Well, it puts them in a very exclusive club. As you can see, xAI is now sitting in third place, right behind the giants, OpenAI and Anthropic. But here's the really interesting part. The secret weapon, if you will. Elon Musk owns the AI model, Grok, and he owns the distribution platform, X. That vertical integration gives Grok a massive built-in advantage to scale up incredibly fast. And if you thought that was futuristic, check this out. Razer is literally bringing AI companions out of the screen and into the real world with something called Project Ava. It's basically an AI hologram for your desk. It sits in this little physical capsule. It has a camera and mics so it can see your screen and hear you. And then this little animated avatar pops up to help you out. It's powered by Grok, and it can give you real-time coaching while you're gaming or help you with work. How cool is that? All right, let's shift gears now to what might be the single most important development of the week. We're talking about the incredible acceleration of AI in healthcare. This is where things get really personal. Okay, you have to hear this number. A new report from OpenAI just dropped, and it says that more than 40 million people every single day are turning to ChatGPT for health information. 40 million! And maybe even more telling, 70% of those chats are happening outside of normal clinic hours. That tells you there's a huge unmet need for information and advice, and AI is stepping in to fill that gap. And it's not just about asking questions. The diagnostic potential here is absolutely stunning. Researchers at Stanford have developed an AI called Sleep FM. And get this, it can predict your risk for future diseases like Parkinson's and dementia with really high accuracy just by analyzing the data from a single night of your sleep. It's looking for these tiny signals where your body's out of sync, like maybe your brain is in deep sleep, but your heart is racing. It's finding these patterns that can be warning signs for major health problems years down the road. So, seeing this trend, OpenAI is jumping right in. They just launched ChatGPT Health. This is a brand new, private experience right inside ChatGPT. It can pull in data from things like your Apple Health app or MyFitnessPal, and you can even upload your actual medical records. The whole point is to have a much more personalized, context-aware conversation about your health. And importantly, they're saying these chats have isolated memory and stronger encryption, so your private health data isn't being used to train their models. And this brings us to a really crucial point. We are crossing a major threshold here. On one hand, you have ChatGPT Health, which provides you with health information. It helps you understand things. But on the other hand, look at what's happening in Utah. A new law there now allows an AI to make autonomous medical decisions. It's starting small, just approving prescription refills for 191 different drugs. But think about that shift. We are moving from AI as an information tool to AI as an autonomous agent in our healthcare. That is a massive change. Okay, so from the doctor's office to the device right in your pocket, AI is showing up everywhere. Let's take a quick look at the upgrades that are rolling out to your everyday life right now. Lenovo, the world's biggest PC shipper, is launching its own system-level AI called Kira. The idea is pretty cool. It's an assistant that follows you between your Lenovo PC and your Motorola phone, so it always has the context of what you're working on. It can compose messages in your style, take live meeting notes. Lenovo's calling it personal ambient intelligence. And the big thing here is that it's going to be pre-installed on millions of new PCs, so it's going to be everywhere, fast. Meanwhile, Google is finally putting its AI muscle into Gmail in a big way. They're integrating Gemini, which means you'll be able to search your inbox just by asking questions. Instead of digging for keywords, you can just ask, hey, what was that file Sarah sent me about the project last Tuesday? It'll also act like a personal assistant, pointing out important emails and even making a to-do list for you. That could be a real game changer. And not to be left out, Microsoft is turning Copilot into a full-on storefront. Seriously, they're calling it Copilot Checkout. You can now shop at major retailers like PayPal, Shopify, and Etsy and complete the entire purchase right inside the AI chat. And the results are wild. Users were twice as likely to buy something through Copilot with over 50% more purchases. This is way more than just a chatbot. It's a new way to do e-commerce. Okay, last up, but this is a big one. Let's zoom out and look at the global picture, because a new player has just entered the scene in a way that could change the economics of AI for literally everyone. So a major Chinese AI lab called Zhipu AI just went public, and their game plan is super clear. Start a price war. I mean, look at this. US models from OpenAI and Anthropic are valued in the hundreds of billions, and they charge premium prices. Zhipu's valuation is way lower, and its AI assistant costs about $3 a month. Their chairman is basically saying, we're going to force the US labs to compete on price, not just on who has the best model. Why does this matter to you? Because if they succeed, it could make powerful AI dramatically cheaper for everybody, and that could unleash a whole new wave of innovation. So there you have it. From AI literally making medical decisions to the start of a global price war that could change everything, the pace of change is just accelerating like crazy. The big question we're left with isn't just what new thing can AI do, it's how are these incredibly powerful new forces, both economic and social, going to reshape our world? We'll be right back here next week to break it all down.